There may come a time when you're working with objects that are on a single layer where you have a little bit of trouble discerning exactly what goes with what and how to find whatever it is you're looking for. You may also want to be able to move certain objects from one layer to another. The only way to do that is by utilizing the Layers panel. And in this movie, I'm going to be walking you through how to target specific objects in the Layers panel and then how to move those objects to other layers. So if you've got the Target Layers document open, you can see here that I've got a background layer which contains all of the artwork. I've also got a layer called Photo, a layer called Buttons, and a layer called Logo. And I'm going to take each one of those individual items from this composition and move them to their own respective layers. The first thing I'm going to do is expand out the background layer. And in the background layer, you're going to notice that I have a ton of stuff happening. But I also have everything in groups. So what I'm going to do is find the groups that I need. The first group, of course, is the photo. And I know it's this big thing right here. I can tell that by the thumbnail. I'm going to go over and click the targeting icon next to that group. Once I do, you should see a bounding box appear around that photo. And you do. I'll then take this, and this is the tricky part. You have to click right on this little square. Click. And notice I can drag it up. When I get to the photo layer, I should see that little dot turn to green, indicating I'm about to drop it on that layer. And when I let go, indeed, it does jump up to that layer. You don't see any visual change in the document itself aside from the fact that the bounding box went from that magenta color to the green color, indicating that I do in fact have it on the photo layer, and that photo layer is green. So I'm good to go with that layer. The next piece of the puzzle are the buttons. And as I can see here in my document, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. And inside of my Layers panel, underneath the background layer, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 groups right here. Hopefully, those are the buttons. I can target them to see. If I click next to this group, you can see it does indeed highlight the Courses button. And so I'm going to take this, click and drag it up to the Buttons layer, and release. And it turns yellow, just like the Buttons layer should. Same thing for this one. I'll target it, click it, drag it, and drop it. And I'll just do this for each one. Once I've got all of those buttons there, I'm ready to put the last piece of the puzzle in place. And that's the logo. And it should be the last thing left besides the background. So I'll target it, click it, and drag it up to the logo layer and drop it in. And as you can see, the bounding box changed from magenta to the light cyan, indicating that I've moved the logo to its own layer. Finally, I'll toggle back up the background layer so it closes everything. And as you can see, I've organized my document a whole lot in just a few short and easy steps. I now have all of the major pieces on their own layer, and I can easily find them and target them at any given time.